We're going to can some Jerusalem artichoke relish. I'm Holly Baird. So now what we're going to do is we have the sunchokes here. This is a kind of a 2-day process because you have to let them soak in salt water overnight. So what we did is we got our sunchokes, or our Jerusalem artichokes, whatever you want to call them, cleaned up. Then we put them in water with some salt, and that's all in the recipe below. We stirred it up real nice, and then we kept them in the refrigerator overnight. And then when we drained them, the water was kind of like a black color, but they do oxidize pretty quickly, so that might have been the result of that. So the next step now is to get them chopped up along with onion and with some red pepper. Now this artichoke relish, we've never had it before, it's new to us, so we'll have to see, but it sounds pretty good. It sounds like a pretty simple relish, something you can put on hot dogs or hamburgers or whatever you put relish on. So we're going to get everything chopped up, and then we'll get to our next step. Okay, so we're using the food processor to chop these up along with our other vegetables. So I'm just going to give them a few pulses here till they're finely chopped, and then we'll get the rest going. Okay, so we're going to pulse up some more vegetables with what's left of the artichokes. Okay, so we're making our brine for our relish. So in the stock pot here, we have 4 cups of vinegar, and we're adding 3.5 cups of sugar. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stir it until it dissolves and gets really hot. You can bring it to a boil if you like, and we're just going to keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn to the bottom. And once it comes to a boil, then we're going to add everything else. Okay, so our mixture here is boiling. So we're going to add our spices, which is turmeric and mustard. It calls for mustard seed. I'm all out of mustard seed, so I'm replacing it with excuse me, ground mustard. And then I'm going to get my vegetables in here. And what you want to do is, once you get them in here, you want to bring it up to a boil again, and then boil it for 10 minutes so that it's nice and hot. Oh, excuse me, when you're putting it in the jars. So I'm just going to get that going. Okay, so this is ready to go now. And we decided that we're going to use pint jars. We typically can our relish in pint jars. So we're doing pint jars instead of half pints as the recipe called for. And so I'm going to get this going here. I got my jars. They're nice and hot. All right. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I didn't forget to add, but I forgot to tell you that you have to add a teeny bit of salt. It's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to the mixture. So don't forget to add that. So we need a 1/2 inch headspace on this, and it should make about 5 pints. We'll see what happens here. We're good, okay. Now, if you have lids from within the past few years, I wanted to mention that some of them say you have to soak and some say you don't have to soak. We discovered this when we were going through some of our lids, and it's good to know. All right, so let me get this in the can. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna get the rest of these done and we'll see what we got. Okay, so we ended up with 6 pints. So we're just gonna get them over on the towel here. Okay, so we got our 6 pints here of our Sunchoke or Jerusalem Artichoke Relish, and we're going to let them all seal, label them, and take the rings off and get them stored away tomorrow. And there you go. So there's some Jerusalem Artichoke Relish. Something different if you grow Jerusalem artichokes. I'm sure you know that you're like, what can I do with it? So here's something that you can do where you can preserve them, extend your harvest, and have some yummy relish. I'm Holly Baird, and this has been Canning What You Grow. For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.